battle, I'm afraid. Valentin Christoph, very much the favourite for the victory today. We'll have to see how he gets on in this heavier weight category, having swept the medals, took all the golds at last year's competition in the 56 kilo class. This, of course, the 62 kilo class. So we have our first lifter out, Stoyan Enev, and alongside me, Colin Bryce is a European medalist, multiple medalists from the past, Michaela Breeze of Great Britain. Michaela, you were saying to me, looking at this list of athletes, this is going to be a pretty competitive one. Maybe not for first, but certainly for the middle rankings.
Absolutely, I think it's going to be very close throughout. Here we see Enev come out for Bulgaria for his first attempt. He placed third only last year, so for him to be coming out and opening the competition, you know, it shows how close it's going to be.
Yeah, he came out, he hit 122 for part of his total to come third last year in this weight category. So this is going to be extremely competitive. Now, looking back at the B category, we had a few lifters earlier today, and Akratidis of Greece is leading the way, hitting a 110-150. So they've definitely got the right men in the A group. Sometimes there's a bit of messing around. Nowadays, people almost like to go from the A down into the B. In the old days, it used to be people would try and sneak their way up into the A to get themselves on the telly, I think. But as we saw at the Olympic Games, when the North Korean took all the pressure off himself and ended up winning the gold from the B group, that was a whole new tactic, and has got a lot of the weightlifting community scratching their head. Anyway, that's not going to be a problem today. There's only 3 B group lifters. All of the top dogs are here in the A group, and you can see there NF looks like he may well be following himself at the moment. Dudoglu of Moldova is down as coming out at 120 as well, so really should be going out, but I imagine the Moldovan coaches must have popped his weight up. And what is NF going for on his second lift?
Bearing in mind 122 is the weight that he finished with last year. He's opted for 123 now on his second attempt.
123 it is. He's got a huge clean and jerk, so if he can get something out of the snatch, he does have that to rely on.
Oh, he's going to be lucky to get that. There's a flexion there of the left elbow, right side as we look at it. Let's see what the judges thought of it.
Oh goodness, 2 whites and a red? I don't believe it. Wow. Surely the jury will step in. That was pretty obvious, wasn't it?
It is from where we are, bearing in mind though that the position of the referees, you've got one referee just directly in front as we're looking at it now. You'll then have one referee on either side, so the angle that they may have seen it at may not have looked quite so bad, but from our point of view that definitely looked like a press out. He was lucky to get away with it.
Yeah, the jury, of course, won't always step in, only if it's really something quite severe. They'd rather go on what their judges thought, but it does happen. A little bit of conversation going on here, and that may well be the case. I don't know. No, they're changing the weight. It's going up. 125 I can see on the board has been registered. And the others are all just backstage going through the motions. Is it me next? It's this is great. This is what I love about weightlifting. It is people are chopping and changing all the time here, and if you're not careful, you can miss your lift.
That was it. Well, that was Naziv of Bulgaria that we saw sat down in the warm-up room. We've got the Moldovan coming out now. One of the Moldovans, I think, is Dudoglu.
Yes, Gennady Dudoglu, who duffed up his brother Yuri to make it into the Moldovan team selection. That's not an easy thing to do, considering Yuri was 6th at the European Championships last year. He is the older brother here.
Oh, an interesting starting position there. Didn't really look to set himself, but very solid.
Absolutely ripped it off the floor, didn't he? On 25 kilos then, successful first lift.
See here, the back really should be nice and straight. You could see head was down slightly, which is what has sent him forwards there at the end of the lift. But regardless, 125, he's in the competition.
So coming back out is NF to attempt 125 for his third.
He just glanced there towards his left elbow as if to say to the referees, this one doesn't look very well. That's very much an old school thing. You know, at the end of the day, the elbow's got to stay, or so the arm has to stay as straight as possible. If there's any flexion, any movement, it should be a failed lift. So let's watch carefully.
No, not going to happen today. And off he goes. He'll be looking for something very big in the clean and jerk, I think, to get him into the medals. But he does have that in his arsenal. He's a phenomenal jerker, and over 160 is very capable for him. So over to the Bulgarians, of which there are three. Valentin Ristov lifting for Azerbaijan, of course, is naturalized last year to Azerbaijan. Previously, he was a junior Bulgarian weightlifter. All three of them are up for the medals here. And this is Ferdi Nassif going for a 1-2-6 starter, higher than he originally posted. So things must be going well out the back.
Very dynamic. Exploding there as the bar passed the knees. Really generating as much force and power through the floor as possible.
Yeah, very impressive lift for the 23-year-old who at the under-23 European Championships last year came in second with a lift of 125 in the snatch, 149 in the clean and jerk. And now you realise when lifters are going around the 140 mark that NF and his 160 plus clean and jerk can really pull him back. So don't forget that Bulgarian. Coming on stage now, it's Zulfugar Suleimanov of Azerbaijan. Coming out for his first attempt, 30 years old.
Yeah, I haven't got any results here since 2010. His best was in 2009, 128 snatch. This is 127.
Good
Strong
effort.
first attempt.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. He seems to have missed the European Championships. Did do the 2011 World Champs. Hit a 133 and came in sixth. But then missed the Olympic Games. Not so easy to get to the Olympic Games, is it? The numbers are very tight there.
Yeah, sure. You're restricted, both men and women. A maximum team for men is only 6 lifters. A maximum team for women is only 4. And qualification for such a competition is extremely intense. I think Great Britain were very lucky this time round to actually be given a quota of lifters who, to be fair, would not have otherwise qualified through the official procedure. But you know, it's great to have British lifters on the platform.
Yes, and there are some British lifters in the European Champs coming later on in the higher weight categories. And Troy Toru of Romania here. Oof. Brilliant. Great speed there. Little off balance actually, the bar. Slightly pivoted to one side, but a 128 snatch is well ahead of what he posted earlier on today. And the reigning European junior champion is on form. I mean, he's a real youngster still, just 19, like Ristov.
Yeah, big improvements as well from Croitru there of Romania. In the Olympic Games last year, he placed 9th with a 121 kilo snatch. Here, 128 as an opener. You can see the progress this guy's made in just a year. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, in fact, the end of last year at the Junior World Champs, he already hit a 132, so he went up 11 kilos from Olympics to right at the end of last year. Now, very serious looking customer, Igor Bor. Just built perfectly for weightlifting. The Moldovan, 29 years old. First time we've seen him in a big international since 2008, when he lifted in the 56 kilo class. And he was European champion in 2007, and back with a bang there. That was a good lift.
Absolutely, very, very stocky young man. I mean, look at the power there, so compact. Definitely has an advantage over the other lifters in that he doesn't have as far for the bar to travel. Very good technically, gets great extension on the bar, very quick into the receiving position. You can see that he's really pleased with that one.
Well, if you've been away from big time lifting for a while, it's sure is nice to get in a confidence builder when you step back on the stage. Doglu now is coming out for Moldova. 130 kilograms, increase of 5 kilos from lift 1.
Taking his time. Oh, I believe the ruling's changed. It used to be if the bar has not travelled past the knees, then you can attempt it again. I believe the ruling had changed. If the bar comes off the floor, it's considered an attempt. So I may be wrong on that.
Either way, he didn't get it, did he? So he did. Yeah, they do chop and change the rules a little bit. Little infringements like that, yeah. Last summer it had to go past the knees. But yeah, anyway, it's all academic now. He missed his lift. Now coming out is Nasif, who was lifting for Bulgaria. 130 kilograms, his second lift. Ferdi Nasif, 23 years old, and just to make it into the Bulgarian team is a huge achievement. Incredible history, along with the Turks, especially at the lightweights, of great weightlifters. No, that was not a particularly convincing opener. Oh, sorry, second lift, 126 to 130. The 4 kilo jump was just a little too much, and he wasn't even anywhere close to that.
Oh, I don't know, it was at arm's length, slightly in front. I'm sure he's capable of that, and I'm sure he'll be quite disappointed. Second attempt, you really should be getting those. The third attempt is quite often a new personal best or for records, but I'm sure he'll come back and give that another good crack.
Yeah, perhaps confidence just wasn't quite there second time. Really go for it. 130 kilos, second attempt for Suleimanov. We still have not seen Valentin Ristov, the superstar of this category. Just wrapping his thumb in there, getting that hook grip. Ooh, if he gets it, that could be with bent arms.
He's going to do very well to steady himself.
Oh, will he get it with his arms?
I didn't think that was as bad as the one we saw earlier.
3 white lights. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't as bad. Suleimanov then, he certainly liked it, and to be fair, he was down in the bottom a while there. That took quite a bit of brute power just to resettle himself.
Pressure on the elbows there. You can see his backside so close to the floor. The only part of the body allowed to touch the floor is the feet. So they're really using every inch that he could.
Yeah, that wasn't far away. Dudoglu going for 130. Final lift, having just missed it moments ago.
Much more positive from the floor, but again really didn't set himself in the starting position, which meant everything was forward for the rest of the lift. He's going to be disappointed with that, left with 125 kilos halfway through the competition. Now needs to go away and regroup.
Yeah, for sure he got the height that time, just bar sitting in front of him. And a bit of a shame for him, because you're going to need every kilo if you're going to get a combined medal in this weight category. It's a lot tighter than any of the others we've seen so far. Kroitoru coming out for 1:31, second attempt.
See Kroitoru here, a lot taller than the other lifters, but if you see where his length is, it's in the back. He's got a really, really long back, which is great for weightlifting.
Salitura.
Bravo indeed.
Yeah, good effort there, the Romanian coaches, making sure the judges know it was a good one. And 1:31, so he's gone up 3 kilos. And how much more is in the tank there? Still waiting for Valentin Ristov to come out. The man who did 1:41 at the Azerbaijani Championships and a 1:75 clean and jerk. On paper, very much the man in this category. And obviously things are going well backstage, because we haven't seen him yet. Big slap on the back as Ferdi Nassif comes back out, his final attempt, going for 1:31.
1 kilo increase from his previous failed attempt, so he must be feeling confident with this. This lift will keep him in with a good chance of a medal. Taking his time, making sure he's locked onto the bar, thumbs trapped between the fingers and the bar. Not to be. He's left with 1:26 halfway through the competition.
Yeah, that ranks him 4th in the snatch at the moment, so definitely no medal at the halfway point for snatch, but if you can pull it back with a big clean and jerk, could get something in the combined. Suleimanov just having a little hit of ammonia salts. 1:32 has been put up on the board and on the bar. And can he make it 3 out of 3? 1:27, 1:30, 1:32. And that's big numbers for this weight category at European level. It'd be hard to see him missing out on a medal if he hits this.
Yeah, this is a big test now. That last attempt really took it out of him. Does he have the confidence to drop under this weight?
Certainly, he went underneath it.
Yeah, it's a sign of, dare I say, hesitation there. You know, dare I say, almost scared to commit at the bottom. Easy just to let it swing and throw overhead. But he wouldn't have hurt himself there. He's fine. He's in good shape. He's looking anxiously now at the scoreboard just to see where he's positioned halfway through the event.
So, when is Christoph coming out? Romania getting suited up. So it's going to be Florent Kroitoru, 19-year-old, or not? No. Here he comes, weightlifting superstar Valentin Ristov, former Bulgarian, steps onto the stage at 1:33. And the Azerbaijani Championships are anything to go by. This is well within his capabilities. Well, his trainer there is Zlatan Vanev, just shouting from the sides.
Wow, was that fast? Extremely quick, extremely explosive, to a point where almost lost it overhead. So there, Vanev was his coach, the guy in the white tracksuit there. He was also competing for Bulgaria, I believe, a few years ago. I remember him competing back in '98. He actually dislocated his elbow at the European Championships.
Yeah, that's it's a painful one. It can often be a career wrecker as well. It was a very good super heavy. Raymond Bergmanis, who did exactly the same thing at the European Champs. 97 actually, 98.
Yeah, not nice.
Came over to the World's Strongest Man competition after that, as his weightlifting days were pretty much over. And wow, the strut is on Igor Bor. I really like this man's stage presence as much as anything else. Just looks like he's going to do it. You need a bit of that self-belief.
Yeah, 134 kilos now. This will put him into the gold medal position on the snatch. Obviously still a few lifts to go.
Wow.
Thought he'd lost that one behind there, didn't he? Steady himself at the bottom. Fantastic.
Didn't he do well? That was really just brute power at the bottom there. It was losing it over the back, wasn't he? And pulled it back in.
You can see him there now, just twinging with that elbow. That's going to take a lot of strain on the elbow there, fighting not to let it go behind. And that's where the injuries really happen. So lucky to get away without hurting himself too badly there.
So the Romanian is coming out for one more attempt. 128. Hit 131 on his second lift, going for 135. So 4 kilos up. His first jump only 3 kilos. And well, that's strange tactics, but maybe this is just a roll the dice.
No, he's done this. I see what he's done here. He's trying to put himself ahead of Bor from Bulgaria. This will put him ahead by 1 kilo. If he'd taken the same weight, he would have been knocked back on body weight. Can he stand still? He has to stay on the platform. Wait for the down signal, which he gets. And that is a great lift. 3 out of 3. Under pressure, 135. He's put himself at the moment in gold medal position with only a few lifters left to come.
Oof, that was a great fight there. He's just tapping his back. I hope he hasn't twinged anything. Let's have a look at this again. Just a little in front of himself there and charged it down.
That's a bronze medal at least for Kreuteru.
Yeah, I mean, we got Christoph with 2 attempts to go, so for sure Christoph will go ahead of that on looking at that first lift anyway. Here he comes for his second. This will be the answer. 137. Now, he's not just going for gold medals here in the snatch. He's also really trying to pump up the kilograms, so the job is not so big in the clean and jerk to win the combined title. Just lightning fast.
He has to be one of the quickest lifters I think I've ever seen. So I know for all those people that I've been coaching, when I say speed up, that's the kind of speed that we're looking for.
Just outrageous, isn't it? Getting under the bar with such perfection. Only 19 years old, but in Bulgaria they do start him young, so he's had a few thousand hours on the training platform to be able to perfect that movement.
Oh, that's going to fire you up, isn't it? A slap around the cheeks.
Yeah, this guy doesn't really need much firing up. He's full of self-belief. Igor Bor coming out for 137.
Now remember, he really had to fight at the bottom of the previous weight there to save it from going behind. Let's hope he hasn't tweaked that elbow too badly.
No.
That's typical of somebody that's just hurt themselves on a previous lift, just has that little bit of doubt in the mind. You know, that hesitation, if I go for this, am I really going to hurt myself? So if he has tweaked his elbow on his previous lift, that was probably a sensible thing to do. He's still there or thereabouts, and he's definitely in with a shout of an overall medal.
He just glanced at his right elbow there, Michaela. I think you've just absolutely spot on with that. Full of fire, of course. He didn't want to not go out there and give it a pull. So the bar is getting loaded up and up, and Valentin Ristov still has one lift to come, and couldn't tell from the plates exactly what that was. Maybe you could read it quicker than I could, Michaela. We'll see on the board in a second. Little fire of ammonia, 140 kilograms, and again this is 1 kilo below what he did at the Azerbaijan Championships a few weeks ago.
He's already in gold medal position now on the snatch. This really is just to extend his lead even further.
Last year at the lighter category he hit 125 for the gold there, and a junior European record. Impressive progression in a year if he gets this 15 more kilograms.
Well, if we see the replay there, as the bar passed his knees, he really threw his shoulders a long way back. Nowhere was he fully committed through that lift. I think the coach is a little frustrated with him.
Gets a slap on the way out to psych him up, no slap on the way back. He wasn't happy there, was he, Vanev, the coach? Yeah, he just never committed, did he?
Thing is, if you're out of position, just a fraction off the floor, it's game over.
It is at your maximum level. 137 kilograms, the victory there by 2 kilograms ahead of Croitoru of Romania.